You're in for a treat. I'm moving this box. So, does it seem like it's still winter out there? Does it seem like summer is ever going to come? No. Well, I'll tell you, it will come, and it'll come sooner than you think. This week, you've heard from the recipients of the pool grant. On Tuesday, you heard from them, and today you're going to hear from some stunningly beautiful women who were recipients of the Kilbourne Summer Arts Program. Now, the Kilbourne program was established by John Kilbourne, who was class of 1958 at Taft. And it was established in honor of his parents. And what it does is fund a program in the arts. This is not necessarily applicable for the seniors in the first few rows, but for everyone else, it's something that you might want to consider. So we are going to hear from them. There's just one thing I'm going to ask you, which is it's a favor to the seniors, a favor from the seniors, which is that this is an experiment. I asked them to not write out their speeches, so they don't have scripts. They have little note cards, and they have a stopwatch to keep them on track. So what I want you to do is show them all your love and support as they're up here, and they're all a little bit nervous, so put them at ease with big, open, attentive smiles, and listen as they tell you their stories. So first we're going to hear from Emma Martin.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Emma, and I'm a senior here at Taft. And this summer, I used the Kilbourne Arts Grant to attend a 2-week writing intensive at the University of the South, Sewanee. I went in early July, and when I got back the rest of the summer, people would ask me, how was your camp? Like, how was your writing camp? And it made me feel like a little kid to hear it called camp. And it wasn't really accurate, because by the time I had arrived on campus, I had had to read 2 novels, a play, a couple of short nonfiction pieces, and a book of poems, all by authors that were coming to the conference to talk to us. So we spent the evenings in lecture halls talking to the authors and doing question and answer sessions, and then we spent the daytime writing in classroom hours, about 4 hours a day, and it was all leading up to this final project, which was a 10 to 12 page fiction piece that we ended up sharing at the end of the conference to everyone, and it was only like slightly less nerve-wracking than talking at morning meeting. But I chose to do this writing conference because I loved to write when I was younger, and I would never do the schoolwork I was supposed to do. I was always writing, and by the time I hit high school, it kind of faded into the background, and I didn't write anymore. I wasn't going to get a grade on it, and it wouldn't really help me get into college, and so it wasn't something I spent a lot of time on. And I went to Sewanee because I wanted to rediscover that passion. And while the classroom hours at Sewanee were so helpful, and all the time spent with my teachers really helped my writing a lot, I think it was the atmosphere more than anything else, the environment that I was in, that really inspired me. I was on a campus with all writers. It was everyone that was there because they wanted to write, and they wanted to do it as a career, and they were so energetic and talented, and I saw in them what I used to love so much when I was younger, and it really re-inspired me, I guess, to write again. And so yes, it was the environment, I guess, that inspired me, and I met so many diverse people when I was at the conference, and I fell in love with the South and Southern accents. At one point during my conference, I was trying to give one of my characters in my story a Southern accent, and then someone from Tennessee read the story, and they said, you can't just drop the G off the end of words and call it a Southern accent, so I had to scrap that. But I love the accents, and I love the South, and it was such a fantastic environment. And so I really encourage everyone, if you're thinking about applying, just to go out and research some programs. It's kind of like shopping. I mean, you don't even have to choose one. It's just cool to see how many fantastic, diverse programs are out there. So I'd say do it for yourself and just look into it and really apply. I encourage it.
Hi, I'm Athena Wilkinson, and I'm a junior here. And this past summer, I attended a 5-week summer program at Berklee College of Music in Boston. At that program, it was basically attending the college for 5 weeks. So we had, we attended classes, we had a schedule, and it was a college schedule basically, because we had, anywhere from 1 to 4 classes in a day and a lot of free time, which was really nice. In the program, I had voice lessons, I had theory classes, musicianship classes, and all that good stuff. The best part about the program was not so much the classes, but was being surrounded by musicians. It was all musicians, and they all wanted the same thing that I did, which was to make it in the music industry. And what I learned the most from it was not, the theory, which I did learn, all the stuff in the classes, but what I learned was the reality of the music industry and how everybody is trying to make it in it, and it's really hard. I also learned the best way to make it in the music industry, which isn't in, what songwriting or like the Katy Perry style. That's really hard for it to happen. And there are a ton of people, like when I went there, so many people were songwriters. A lot of them girls, but still. So many people were songwriters, and they all thought that they were the star, and that they were going to make it into the music industry, be the next Katy Perry, the next, not Justin Bieber, but, along those lines. Also, I was able to compare, being surrounded by all these musicians, I was able to compare my ability with everybody else and see where my level was at, what I needed to improve upon, and what I was good at. And I was able to see that lyrics for songwriting, they suck. I can't do them. But I'm trying to improve. And then, so now, coming back from that, I'm able to work on work when I need to work on, and I've improved a lot, actually, especially working with my guitar teacher, Fred Krug, because he's awesome. And lastly, I learned that I'm not very good socially. A lot of the time, because here, especially my freshman year, I learned to stay in my room. And so there, instead of going out and meet people, I hung out in my room and watched Sherlock and all those good episodes. But on the last day, when I was finally, I was out of the room, I was just sitting there with my guitar in a hallway waiting to perform with my ensembles, because we had ensembles, we did performances. And that was the best day, because I was sitting there just playing, hanging out, and a stand-up bass player came along. His name was Noah, and he would, he had his bass, top of his bass was broken. I don't know how that happened, and we were just hanging out, playing music together. It was a lot of fun. But if you're considering doing a music program, feel free to talk to me. Thank you.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is So Young. During the past summer, I had originally planned to go to Columbia University for 3 weeks to take intense studio art courses. However, having been away from home for months, my mom told me to stay back at home instead of not going far away. So with help from my mother, I was able to find a pro bono program with Design Lab Team in Mongolia. I went to Mongolia for 10 days in early August visiting Bright Future Global Academy. In Mongolia, I slept in a traditional Mongolian house called yurt, and even woke up by the wake-up calls from a random donkey walking around the yurt. In order to escape from the hot summer sun during the daytime, we opened the door. However, leaving the rooftop open allowed many insects that I had never heard of or never seen before. One thing that I want to share today is an art project that I did. Bright Future School was built off a pro bono program, but even though the Academy receives money through the program, The students do not study in the best environment as we do at Taft. As a group, we had to make 4 different drawings on the small boards, which were later collaged together and made a huge mural in the empty space of the entrance of the school. We also picked up small stones and painted them with different colors and made a monument of the school. Even though I had a hard time communicating with the students in Mongolia, I have learned so many things about art, culture, and community. If you have any questions about the program, please let me know. Thank you.
Hi, I'm on a box. Okay, so hi, my name is Jocelyn Kim. I'm a 3-year senior, and this summer I went to CISA, which is the California State Summer School for the Arts, and I attended the animation program. And I was given the opportunity to work with people who worked at like Blizzard, Fox ADHD, Adult Swim, etc. It was pretty cool. So the first thing, well, one thing I did at CISA was dye my hair, which was like kind of radical considering what kind of person I am. And I actually ended up not telling my mom until she came to pick me up, and when she saw me, she ended up just laughing her butt off at me, so that was pretty funny. So this is one assignment that I did at CISA. So like we had to design a character and then animate them dancing, and it was really fun and open-ended. And like while I was animating it, my class and I were watching the Nostalgia Critics Star Wars reviews on YouTube, and it was really fun. Like creative juices were like flowing everywhere. I really liked it. Here are some figure drawings that I did. I learned at CISA that I really like to draw freely instead of making everything look pretty and polished, and like I learned to experiment and draw for my own pleasure rather than like make everything look good to get like other people's approval. And this is shown in like the sketchbook pages I do, and sketchbooks are kind of like my diary, and I've learned to draw with more of a stream of consciousness kind of thing, instead of like worrying about how other people think of them as like weird or like potentially offensive, etc. This is a picture of the trash can full of all the Kleenex that people use to cry into on the last day of CISA. And like, by the end of the program, we were all really close. We were all like friends. Even now, we're still in contact, even with my teachers. Like, it's kind of hard to find people who are as into animation or art as we were, but I still talk to them every now and then. And everything I learned at CISA, it's kind of hard to see, but it's encapsulated in the CISA crystal, which we were introduced to on the first day. First, you enter the crystal with like a straight line perspective. You're kind of ignorant, you don't really know what to expect, but during the program, your mind bounces off of all these new concepts and ideas, and it's really mind-blowing. And afterwards, you leave the crystal with a fresh take on life, and you can kind of go through life with a more open mind, and I really think that I've learned how to do that. And this is an animation that I started over a long weekend and finished 2 days ago. And I still have a lot to learn about animation, but I think it's interesting to see how much I've learned over the span of half a year. So this is a picture of my sketchbook that I sent off to CalArts about a month ago for their undergrad character animation program. CISA was what I really needed before senior year because I knew I always liked art, but I felt a lot of pressure to kind of quit it because either like art is unstable or it's not credible as a major, etc. But I'm really glad that I didn't spend my summer lazily. I'm really glad that I went to this program because I had the opportunity to realize that my passion was actually art, and I got to spend it with all these people who shared the same passion. So it was the best month of my life, and I really encourage you guys to apply to CISA, apply to the Kilbourne grant, because you never know what's going to happen. And yeah, thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Crystal, and this summer I went to the Bates Dance Festival for 3 weeks at Bates College, and I took 4 classes a day for 3 weeks. I took ballet, modern, African, and improv, and I met a lot of accomplished people who are in the modern dance world today, but probably my most memorable experience was when I actually cried in my African class. And it was basically one day in the second week of classes, and I just like couldn't get this combination down. Like I just didn't know it. I was the only one who like visibly was a mess. And my African teacher, he called me out and he was like, Crystal, like come to the center. And he started to break the steps down for me, and as like he was really talking to me as if I was a baby. And I still wasn't getting it. So after class, I ended up crying. And he called me over and he was like, Crystal, don't do that to me. Like, don't make me look bad in front of all these people. And I realized that if he hadn't called me out that day, I wouldn't understand why I continued to not get it. And it was because I allowed the intensity and the difficulty of the movement to kind of distract me from enjoying myself. And I realized that if I lost the passion that I had for dance, I would never be able to excel. This was something that I really needed to figure out. Because I want to pursue dance in college, and I know now that this mindset is like really important to have. And if I hadn't had the Kilbourne grant, the whole experience wouldn't have been possible. And I just think if anybody's interested in doing any arts programs and pursuing a passion that they have, that it's a really good grant to apply for, and it really helps on the road to sort of self-discovery. So.
Hi, my name is Nicole. I am a junior and I'm the last one speaking at morning meeting today. This summer I went on a 2-week art program with the help of the Kilbourne grant at UCLA, and it was a really great experience. Ms. Chick helped me pick the program to go on, and during my experience, we went to a bunch of museums. We saw a bunch of artwork from different artists, and also I hadn't actually used acrylic paint before, so it was a really cool thing to explore, like a new medium, and it like kind of broadened my horizons and my field of knowledge, because we also got to talk to a bunch of different artists, like some of them even like the professors at the school. And some of the museums that we visited were the Getty Museum, the Hammer Museum, and the LACMA, which I don't really go to that many museums at home because I live in New Jersey, so it was a really cool experience to get to go to so many also in this new place that I'd never been before. Being exposed to all the different pieces of art were definitely eye-opening, and it helped me with my own art, because it was like you could kind of learn by example. And also another cool thing about the program was that we actually worked with a live model, which is in the right corner, that corner, and we had every day it was like studio time, and then we got to kind of like do our thing, like go to lunch, then we would go back to the studio, and then we lived in a college dorm, so it was cool to be able to see what it's like to be on a college campus. I learned about like the process of how if you are making something, sometimes you have to make 5 things before you come up with whatever it is that you're making. I wanted to thank the Kilbourne committee for providing me with this opportunity, and I really appreciate being able to explore and experiment and just like go to this place that I've never been before, which was really awesome. These are some of my works from the program, but on the next slide I have my favorite Izzy, will you go to formal with me? I don't know how to close it.
Well, Izzy? Where are you? Just wave. I can't see you. You going? Anyway, I hope that works out for you, Izzy. And I hope she gets you a nice corsage. Do you think that worked? Do you think that experiment worked? I think it did. I thought it was really interesting. Let's put our hands together. I thought that those were really interesting, diverse, personal stories. There's only one aspect that wasn't so diverse. Can you guess what it was? They're all girls. Come on, you guys. You have some ideas. This is a co-ed school. No, seriously, I would love to see some guys come up with some great ideas for arts programs like these girls did. I just wanted to thank Mr. Kilbourne before we finish here, and I want to thank him. He's not here today, but I also want to thank the girls publicly. So can we put our hands together loudly? Encourage all of you to consider what you might do. What would you do? What could you do? I'll be sending an email out with further details about the program. But in the meantime, I want you just to start dreaming and remember that summer really is right around the corner, I promise. Thank you.